Do you see the passage over there? We should take a look at it. I suppose. Do you feel anything, Saira? With your gift, I mean. Agreed. Maybe we can even take... The Order will transport the rest to Ark by Myrat. I suppose we found our... Do you feel anything, Saira? With your gift... Agreed. Maybe... The Order will transport the rest to Ark by Myrat.
Correct. Nothing else possesses that much raw, magical power.
Yes? Found something? Oh, I did? I'm sorry. My foster father called me that, so I suppose it's just an old habit. I like the way it sounds, though. If you don't mind, I'll call you that from now on. Let me see. Yes, it does indeed. Seems to be some kind of energy storage, but it's empty. Yes? Found something?
All this energy, it's useless without the Numinos.
It works in a way we have not even come close to comprehending, like a cosmic force.
Yes? Found something? They look useful. Let's take them to the Chronicum. Yes? Yes, you're right. How is it possible? Yes, I think you're right. Hopefully we didn't miss anything. Let's go talk to Pegast.
Now that was quick. So, what did you find? Well, that's not... And as long as we can reconstruct it, that's alright. I sent some of my men back to Ark. Let's just hope it really will help us against this cleansing, whatever it is. As much as I admire Pyrean technology... Interesting. Truly interesting.
What?
Seems that this machine was only some kind of prototype. The real one the Pyreans were working on must be somewhere else. Plus, there's also a name for it. The Pyreans called it the Beacon.
That's poetic.
Indeed. Well then, it seems like you and your visions have once again saved the day, prophetess. There's a lot for us to do now. If you've taken care of your business here, I suggest you head back to Ark and report to old Aranthiel.
What do you think, Saira? Do you want to leave now, or stay a little longer? Good. There you are. Pegast's mages have already told the Grandmaster about our find, and they're waiting for us in the Emporium. Let's go.
All that I am saying is that there are more efficient ways to battle this red madness. And heathen machines atop the Sun Temple are the last thing that will calm the townsfolk.
Maybe. But if this heathen machine is what the Pyreans used to combat the cycle, I want it near. Even if it turns out to be useless, only a fool turns down a chance. Sharim, how long will the reconstruction take?
Well, that depends on how many Pyrean mechanics you have on hand that can help us decipher these plans. Just think for once, Aranthiel. How are we supposed to give you an estimation if we don't even know what the finished machine is supposed to look like?
We will get to work right away, Grandmaster. But in any case, we're going to need a lot of steel and Pyrean crystals.
You will get them. Now, get to work.
Transcribe verse 80, 100 times.
That's beyond me.
You did excellent work. With the beacon and the sigiled stone, we now have both. Sword and shield against these High Ones. That is more than I had hoped for. However, there has also been a disquieting development. I have called in a conclave, and it will take place in a day. Come back then, and use the time to rest.
Yes, that makes sense.
What do you want, urchin? My problem with you? Tell me, would you enter and leave as frivolously as a sailor leaving a broth? What did Malphas say to Dalsidocius after he said... How goes the 100th verse of the Holy Path, which the novice... What is the holiest tenet of the Creed to... Why is only the highest commander of the guard allowed to enter the temple? You know nothing, neither of our faith nor of our country, and only because you happen to have strong magic in you, Aranthiel think... Do you know know how few Enderalians, even those of the Sublime Path, are granted the novitiate? Are you aware? We're not some group of tavern regulars which... We are the Holy Order, and only because Tila has doted on this idiocy of cycles and... You, urchin child, you're the... Even just your boot prints on this sacred ground are blasphemy to everything we stand for. What I see is a country that now... And transforming this order into a bunch of fortuned... Do you even know how many of our people were killed in the war Tila's fool of a son started? And now his former people, Pegast, Sharim, whatever... Now leave. Do what you want, but spare me your presence.
Walk blessed.
Walk blessed, prophetess. Yes?
Well, that's just how he is. Always talking rot.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
An outlander. What are you doing in this part of the city? Shouldn't you be, I don't know, somewhere?
Yes.
Saira, good to see you. Do you need anything?
Wherever you look.
Tattoo? Oh, of course. I've had that for as long as I can remember. And I don't have the slightest idea as to how I got it. It does. You're the first to tell me that. But thanks, I guess.
Why is that stuff so expensive?
No, it isn't. It's just there, that's all. That's what Tyrus said too. But if it has a meaning, it's obscure. I couldn't find... Not without leaving a bad scar, at least according to the apothecary. And even if that weren't the case, I don't know if I'd want it gone. It reminds me of something. It was stitched into the blanket they found me in near that village. I don't really know if it is my actual name, but I had nothing else to go with. Yes, it is. Master Tyrus, my foster father. He was half Kyranian, as you might have guessed already. Well, what should I think about them? They're disquieting. And that it is like no disease they've ever encountered. Honestly, that has rid me of the last... Well, as I told you, the novitiate was very challenging. The Magisters only rarely gave us days off to contemplate, as they called it. The others usually... I never really liked that kind of pastime, and I still don't. I've never really thought about... life in the temple is quite secluded, and I doubt there are many men or women who would find my way of living attractive. That's true, but when I feel the need to relax, I prefer taking a stroll or spending time in the baths. Whatever secret there is about relaxing to loud music, raucous shouting, and alcohol is beyond me. That's convenient, actually. Yes, but let's talk somewhere else. Come on. So, sorry for all the secrecy. I just didn't want anyone else to listen in. Well, that moment when I neutralized the leader of the bandits in Old Dothelgrad, I'm sure you noticed that I was different then. Upset. You choose your words carefully, Saira. I'll make this quick. There is something... Do you remember what I told you in the curarium about the destroyed village? Not all of it, no, and it's true that I don't know how I... A feeling, coupled with an image. It's hard to describe because it didn't last very long, but I saw myself, but I was somehow above the rooftops, as if I flew. Below me, I saw all the chaos, the dead, the fire, the devastated houses, and I somehow felt hot, but from inside, as if my blood was boiling. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't know how. It was something that actually happened, I'm sure of it. But nothing. I woke up in that memory, as if all that suffering, all that pain was the most exhilarating. Well, I didn't know what to make of that memory. There is something inside my head, Saira. Some kind of blood, pain, death. It's never managed to completely take me over, and it hasn't gotten as far. But that memory from the village, I think that is what happens when I let myself go completely. Yes, it is. I don't even want to think about what would happen if I were to give in completely. If that name seems fitting to you, then yes. But if it helps you, think of it as someone that's just waiting for the moment when I am too weak to contain it. I figure. Listen, what happened in Old Dothelgrad, I never should have let it come to that. But that moment when he charged me, the blood on his sword, I just couldn't contain it. And when I gave in, when I hacked him into pieces, I simply felt so thrilled, complete. Saira, good to see you. It was stitched into the blanket they found me. Tattoo? Oh, of course. I've had that for as long as I can remember. It does. No, it isn't. It's just there. That's what Tyra said too. But not without leaving a bad scar, at least according to the apothecary. And even if that weren't the case, well, what should I think about them? They're disquieting. Speaking of which, recently there's been word from the League of Apothecari up north. They say that their studies on the Red Madness haven't borne fruit yet.
Oh shit. I have to remember.
Well, you know, I never really liked that kind of past. I've never, life in the temple is. That's true, but when I feel the need to relax, I prefer taking a stroll or spending time in the baths. Whatever secret there is about relaxing to loud music, raucous shouting, and alcohol is beyond me. That's... Yes, but let's talk somewhere else. Come on. So, sorry for all the secrecy. I just didn't want anyone else. Well, that moment when I... upset. I'll make this quick. Do you remember what I told you in the cure? Not all of it. A feeling, coupled with it. It's hard to describe because it didn't last very long, but... I saw myself, but I was somehow above the rooftops, as if I flew. Below me, I saw all the chaos, the dead, the fire, the devastated houses, and I somehow felt hot, but from inside, as if my blood was boiling. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? It was something that actually nothing. As if all that suffering, well, there is blood. It's never meant, but that memory from the village. I think that is. Yes. I don't even want to think about what would happen. I figure. Listen, what happened in Old Dothelgrad. I never should have let it come to that. But that moment when he charged me, the blood on his sword, I just couldn't contain it. And when I gave in, when I hacked him into pieces, I simply felt so thrilled. Complete. I was naive to believe it would never get that far again. Naive. This is the reason why I trained so hard. This creature inside me. It's always on the hunt. And the only way I can keep it at bay is by controlling both my body and spirit 100%. Just one moment of carelessness. That's all it takes. No way that I know of, at least. Who should I ask? The apothecary? Neither way helps me, and who knows what the Order would do if they found out. Especially as strained as this. Only Master Tyrus, my foster father. And he also advised me never to tell anyone about it, which I haven't. I don't know. Probably because I was afraid. A coward's move, I know, but it was the best solution I could come up with. I'm sorry. I don't know. And truth be told, I'm not sure I want to. I don't know, Saira. Believe me, I've asked myself that question more. I'll never find out. No way that I know of, at least. Neither way helps me, and who knows what the Order would do if they found out. Especially as strained as the situation is right now. Well, what would be the alternative? Transcribe Pyrean books like the Look, Saira, as you already pointed out, there is a chance that this thing inside me is responsible for the massacre in the village. And if that's true, I definitely have a lot of I want to. And yes, I do realize that this means a lot of hard. So many people just talk, and never act. Because that would mean that they'd have to actually endure something for what they believe in. One that shouldn't be. Anyway. The one thing I ask of you is I'd like some time by myself now. And thanks for listening.
Transcribe verse 80 100 times. Sky can rain fire. Magisters never change.
May his light guide you.
Walk blessed.
Huh?
As if they ever listened to me.
The fate prodigy. I hope you can live up to what I say. The prodigy, huh? Apparent. Prophetess.
This too dangerous. Whatever they want here. If we send spies and they get caught, Nerim will see this as a provocation.
Poor, poor people. All they did was invade a foreign country, and look how ruthless we are, sending spies in order to find out why they're here. We should be ashamed.
Save the sarcasm. We both know what I mean. You know my opinion, Tila.
I will consider it. You come at the right time, Prophetess. Commander, explain the situation.
Of course, Grandmaster. Yesterday, we received word from one of our outposts in Duneville. One of the fishermen there saw warships anchoring on an island some miles from shore. And they bear the Nerimese flag.
We have already sent scouts to confirm this, and it is true. The Nerimese have invaded our land. We have a suspicion. I suppose you know that the civil war in the combined forces of the Northern and the Middle Realm, led by Xeinok. Now Nerim has been united under the banner of the free people of Nerim. Because of this Koarek.
It is said that he helped Narethzul Aranthiel shortly before the Lightborn were slain. And while before that, he was an opportunist who changed his ideals as often as his underpants. It seems that his crusade with Narethzul converted him, so to speak. He has become a declared enemy of religion.
He also thinks of the death of the gods as the first step of many. And now he sees it his task to rid Vin of religion once and for all. Free the world from the scourge of faith. These are his words.
Though it is worth mentioning that his understanding of freeing includes mass executions and the burning down of temples. He's a fanatic, and worse, his men worship him for it. What he wants is to found a new world, and his free people of Nerim are supposed to be vanguard of it. Not much. Or... yes, there is. He's a narcissist. I was surprised to hear that the banners of his free people aren't ornamented with a picture. Well, with the small but subtle difference that it was Narazul's vision to restore the human right of self-determination, and not to obliterate every kind of superstition or spirituality.
It is plain stupid to believe a way of thinking can be beaten out of someone's head with just enough violence. The only thing that does is radicalize. Though a world without religion would be a better one, that's without doubt.
Nonsense. The people need a higher power that guides them. You can see what chaos the death of the Lightborn brought on the world, and without your orders doing, all this would never have happened.
Of course. Where were we? Correct.
What Koarek doesn't understand is that we're doing this to prevent a crisis. Not before the High Ones have been stopped. The civil war on Kile, Nerim, and Arazial shows what that is the problem. Pigast?
We believe that Koarek already knows about the cycle and the cleansing. And that he, how should I put it, wants it to happen. Well, I know how strange. For him, Enderal as the home of the Holy Order is the epitome of ignorance and stagnation. And but in his eyes, everything a paragon of the old order tries to prevent from happening, maybe he even sees the High Ones as prophets of his new era.
Right
and
now, this is only an assumption, but we have to know.
Happen.
Yes. Do you know what a silver plate is? They are red. What makes them unique is their power to transfer sound. Our plan is to place 2 of the plates in their camp. That way we can sound them out without risk. You, Firespark, and the mercenary, Dalvarek. However, you cannot travel to the island by ship. That would be too conspicuous.
We found out that the Pyreans had some kind of underground transporting system. Under-trains, that's what they called them. These trains connected the most important regions of the realm with each other, and thus probably also the temple on the island where Korek's ships set anchor. If we can manage to find one of these trains, we could use them to get right to his camp. And, as it happens, we have information about a Pyrean temple in the Crystal Forest. One that is still intact enough for us to find a way into one of these trains.
The Living Temple.
That's how you call it, yes. But enough of the chit-chat. First of all, we need to find the gem that is used to open the gate of the temple as soon as possible. Joseph the mercenary has all.
So
But
we are
enough
talking
of the
about
chit-chat.
accomplished facts, or what?
It is the only way. I'm sorry, Natara. Prophetess, I'm counting on you. Find out why Korek is here.
Huh?
Huh? Pathlessness wherever
You
you
again. I am. Why do you ask? Aren't you a little young to be some kind of... My father started teaching me how to use a sword when I was 6. And when I was 20, I was promoted to the rank of sergeant. And at 28, the Turkessa herself granted me the title of commander. So no, I don't think I'm too young for this. A man on his deathbed can be as much of a fool as a boy of 9 winters, as Loram Waterblade once said. He was a keeper, one of the best and one of the most virtuous. Even though he was only of the manufacturer's path, both his talent and path-abidingness made the former Grand Master, Del Capos, grant him the novitiate. And, in case you were wondering, his name derives from the fact that he was excellent at both swordplay and magic. Elementarism and thaumaturgy, to be precise. That wasn't common in those days. He fell in the Battle of the Dark Valley during the Blood Moon riots. A great loss for the Order, but his heritage remains.
Walk blessed, prophetess.
The prodigy, huh? Apparently we owe you for the shards of this sigil stone. I didn't think I would ever say this, but... Thank you.
Nasty blistering blazes! What the heck took you so long? We've been waiting for ages.
But you only just...
What matters now is that we find the gem that opens the temple doors. You two take care of that. I'll go ahead to the temple and inspect the gate. Any questions? No? Then beat it.
It helps to know what something looks like if you're supposed to find it. At least that's what I've been told.
I already told you that. A small, red gem. If it's around here somewhere, and I'm quite certain it is, you should maybe search for it at the village treasury. Now get going. I'll see you at the temple.
And lo and behold, from one crazy mission into the other. The living temple. Whew. I never thought I'd get to see it up close. I suggest you take a look at the town hall. I'll browse the rest of the village. Just call me if you find something. Huh? About Fogville? Yeah, quite a lot actually. The story's always fascinated me. Yeah, and that's about what happened. How can I say? Then, more and more travelers started disappearing, and surprisingly, that was when the Order couldn't ignore this issue any longer. But when these guards arrived, they were greeted by frenzied villagers, who were armed to the teeth and jumped on the guards like rabid dogs. Most of them were... When the guards returned, they were almost the size of an army, but still the villagers charged right at them. You can imagine the result. Yes, it was. It turned out they sacrificed them. Later, when the Order searched Fogville, there were exactly 6 paintings, one on each wall, and they all depicted unholy scenes, whatever that may mean. Anyway, it seemed that, as I said, they were mad. Plus, this place isn't exactly easily charged. Just look at all the walls. It's almost... Well, the most common one is the proximity to the Whisperwood. We all know what these spores do to the human mind. So maybe... At least that's the official explanation. Some conspiracy theorists see a connection... Exactly. Strange guy, to say the least. You know, shortly before there's a lot of speculation going on about this entire myth, and some of it's quite bizarre and morbid, if you ask me. Anyway. That was quick. Any luck? Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Well, then I guess that means off to the temple. You ready? Wonderful. And here. I found this in one of the houses. I thought it might be useful. Go ahead then. I'll follow your lead.
Well, that was quicker than expected. Show me. Well, maybe you've already heard the Endralayan legend about it. Heareth his whispers, though most folk legends are superstitious, that has, however, less to do with some suicidal lover's tragic... It works because the Pyreans found a way to conjoin something immaterial. The bound ones, as those whose consciousness was transferred were called, suffered atrocious pain during the ritual, but when it worked, they practically achieved immortality.
Well, that's consoling.
It's a terrible fate, yes, but we all know that with the right religious blathering, humans can be convinced to do just about anything. However, don't get the wrong idea. These bindings were unusual. Only a very few arcanists, mainly those of this temple, is one of them. I doubt that it's resting, witnessing the downfall of one's own civilization, and since then being forced to hang around in an extinct world hardly has a positive effect on one's sanity. But we'll see. Go ahead. Put the gem in the socket over there. What are you waiting for? Insert the gem.
Come on, let's not waste time.
Keep your weapons ready. The undertrain will be the lowest level of the temple. If Lucius is true.
One question, Master Firespark. Why me?
Why what?
This is the third time that you've hired me. My pay isn't exactly humble. Why?
What do you want to hear? A love song? You're a drunkard and a scrounger. But you do your work, and you do it good. The day I put my faith in one of these gods' lambs will be the day I dance naked through the upper city, singing hymns of praise to the Lightborn.
I'd like to see that.
I'm sure you would. Now shut your mouth. Our entrance was everything but subtle, but we at least don't have to shout at this temple in the face, where it has to treat its trap. Roll for this. Blistering blazes.
Well, this'll be fun.
Can't you just
Did he just pick up the giant warhammer for some reason?
junction. Seems that we have to... wait a moment. There's something written here. Chuijara nem Curesa nem gan tila bayara. Interesting.
Yes?
I'm translating. Lashery could do a better job with that. Age takes its toll, I suppose, but... I think that means something like... the warrior, the wise man, and the dark one together wield the light. Ah, and look at the inscription above the doorways. Chuijara, Hjoresa, Gandila. The warrior, the wise man, and the dark one.
Sounds to me that there's something we need at the end of each of these tunnels to go further. To the light, whatever that is.
Brilliant deduction. That means we have to split up. Do you see the pressure plates in front of the doors? To me, it looks as if each of us has to stand on one to open the gates. I should take the path of the wise man. What about you, Joseph?
The warrior?
Good. That leaves you the path of the dark one. Off we go then. We'll meet again at the light. Come on, step on the pressure plates.
Constantine?
Mine too. Then let's go.
There you are. Where is Bushybeard, though? A scream? But... wait. Do you hear that? That's his voice. He got here before we did, but he didn't wait. Why the heck would he do that? Not really. Come on, let's take a look.
Shijara, Nem, Lohem, Shiraz, gradually.
What the heck?
Fanara,
hello?
Nem,
Master Firespark.
Gurila, Den Shohen. Shujara, Nem, Jogen, Vetu, 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 Vetu. Shijara, Nem, Lohem, Shiraz. She showed me. She showed me. She showed me all. She... The temple. She let me look through the window of time. And I saw it. All of it. The High Ones. Yes, but I saw them. Men, women and children. Yes, and they're with us here and now. Everywhere and always. And no matter what we do, we can't hide. Do you understand? We can't.
Meister, you're not yourself. Just calm down and we can...
No! Stay away from me! You don't understand. You can't understand. She's so sad. So sad and so full of wrath because we chose to close our eyes rather than see. Because we refuse to understand.
Understand what? You're not making any sense.
That it's us. We are sin. Don't you see? And there's only one way to end it.
What? No, no! Put that away! This is madness!
Madness? What we do is madness! This is the only way to break the cycle. One glance was enough to understand her suffering. To understand that there's no other solution than ultimate death. One day, you will understand that. You too, fleshless one. And now, we have to die. It won't change much, but maybe it will make her just a little happier. Forgive me. But why?
That was... what the heck? Why by the wise hermit would he do that? You mean he was possessed? I always thought the possessed have a red shimmer in their eyes when it gets bad. We'll need to tell the Order about it. Now, let's push on. At least we should find this train. Yeah, you're right. Come on, let's find a shovel. Or something like that. What now? Such chaos. You hear that? Waves. Nature takes back what belongs to her. Let's hope the tunnels of this undertrain aren't flooded too. Wait, I know that smell. Stay here. Where did we find Yarrow's wife? Yarrow's companion. Where did we find her coffin? Please, just do me a favor and answer. Just... Then it really is you. Good question. Best you take a look for yourself. I'll wait here. So, any explanations? An illusion. Yeah. Yes, of course. That must be it. They're trying to confuse it. Ugh. We should push on. Find that stupid train. So, any explanations? Bullseye. Seems like the water spared the train. It's beautiful in a way, don't you think? I bet every Arcanist would give his left hand just to get a look at it. And we're about to use it. Only thing left to do now is find out how. Seems to me that we first have to open this gate and reactivate the mechanism that powers this place. I'll take a look around. Try and find something that lets us open the gate. This is crazy. Just crazy. Go on inside and take a seat, okay? I'll see if I can get the train running somehow. It can't be too hard. Ta-da! Yes, I'm amazing. I know that. If being a merc doesn't work out in the long run, maybe I'll ask the Order to hire me as an expert on Pyrean railways. But no guarantee this thing won't drive us right into the next abyss. Anyway, I guess even with this thing, it should be a while till we arrive. Let's make ourselves comfortable. Sorry for the drama back there at the house. I guess I just didn't know what to make of the situation. No idea. And please, save the subtle accusations, okay? If I reacted somewhat inappropriate... If the High Ones were planning to confuse us, they definitely succeeded. We really should... Still, we can't allow this to get... And at least it stays exciting. Don't laugh, but this reminds me a little of my past. Of my childhood. Save for the crazed mages and mysterious bodies, of course. My sister and I, when we were young... Father always gave us a good scolding when he got wind of it. But of course, that didn't keep us from... Right. Because I never told you. Adela and... Yes, he did. Together with my siblings. Actually, Adela and I are the only surviving Delverics. All the others were murdered. No need to be. In a sad way, a part of me is actually glad everything happened the way it did back then. It made me into a stubborn. My father was a judge in the tribunal, you know. He was a hard man. Justice knows no compromise. That was his great creed. No matter who stood before him in court, my father treated them all the same. Damien Delveric, the epitome of justice. Yes, an extreme... One day, the son of a highly regarded Archer Sublime stood before the 12 judges of the court. Valenzio Duran. He had murdered 2 whores, made them happy, as he called it. And it was obvious, you know those kind of people. The ones who think that money and power entitle them to anything. Of course you can. 11 of the 12 judges voted for a verdict of not guilty, because they knew Valenzio's father was influential with... 1 week later, our manor was robbed by 4 masked men who killed everyone. Officially, they were bandits, who just happened to be running around with blades made of shadow steel. My sister... Ironic, isn't it? Horrible? None of this is... And what good did it do in the end? None. As we speak, Valenzio's enjoying himself. But you see, there's no point in being angry about this. And there are decisions and there are consequences. That's it. First of all, because no one will thank you for it, and second, because in the end, stupid people will destroy all you've achieved with no more than a snap of their fingers. Fight for the moment, and the moment only. Because... Do me a favor and read the Chronicles of Vin, then ask me again. Absolutely. If he had wanted to see this snob die so badly. But, of course, none of that. Adila and I were still young when all this happened. A friendly family took us in. But since then, we haven't been able to speak to one another. But, anyway, enough. You told me that the Creator's Temple in Ostian had something to do with it, but what exactly happened? Ta-da! Yes, I'm amazing. I know that. If being a merc doesn't work out in the long run, maybe I'll ask the Order to hire me as an expert on Pyrean railways. But no guarantee this thing won't drive us right into the next abyss. Anyway, I guess even with this thing, it should be a while till we arrive. Let's make ourselves comfortable. Sorry for the drama back there at the house. I figure all of this is... If the High Ones were planning to confuse... Still. Don't laugh, but this reminds me a little of my past. Save for my sister and I... Father always gave us a good scolding when he got wind of it. Right. Because... Yes, he did. Together with my siblings. Well, now you know why. In a sad way, a part of me is actually glad. My father was a judge. Justice knows no compromise. That was his great creed. No matter who stood before him in court, my father treated... It does to most people. One day, the sun... Ta-da! Yes, I'm amazing. I know that. If being a merc doesn't work out in the long run, maybe I'll ask the Order to hire me as an expert on Pyrean railways. But no guarantee this thing won't drive us right into the next abyss. Anyway, I guess even with this thing, it should be a while till we arrive. Let's make ourselves comfortable. Sorry for the drop. I figure if the High Ones... Still. Don't laugh, but this reminds me a little of my past. Save my sister... Father always gave us a good scolding when he got wind of it. Right. Yes, he did. Together with my sibling. Well, now, in a sad way, my father was a... Justice knows no compromise. Yes. One day, you know those kind of people. The ones who think... Of course you can. 1 week later, officially they... Ironic, isn't it? Of course, it was the... And what good did it do in the end? But you see, there are decisions. First of all, because in the end, stupid people will destroy all you've achieved with no more than a snap of their fingers. Fight for the moment, and the moment... Do me a favor and read the Chronicles of Vin. Absolutely. If he had wanted to see... But, of course, none of... Adila and I were still young when all this happened. But since then, we haven't been able to speak... But, anyway, enough... You told me that... Sorry for the drama back there at the house. I guess I just... Dreams. Yeah. I've had my share of nightmares, too. There was this one that plagued me for years. I'd be in some kind of hall, almost like a temple. Only that there were benches and aisles, like in a courtroom. My father sat on the judge's dais. He was a corpse, and all the spectators and the jury looked like him. Anyway, there was this grotesque trial scene where he accused me of refusing to do my duty for them, and it always ended with his skin melting off like hot wax. Pretty messed up, I know. Eventually, the dreams stopped, though. Someone helped me with that. But anyway, enough of this gloomy talk for now. We should get some rest. We've still got a long ride ahead of us. I don't say this often, but I like working with you. You're okay. You really are. Good night. Rise and shine, fair lady. We have arrived. How'd you sleep? Well, for what it's worth, neither... Come on, let's take a look outside. Seems someone has prepared a welcome for us. This is getting ugly. Well, I'll be damned. This is Half Moon Isle. I can't believe... I suggest we split up. Here, this is your plate. I'll try going in from the east. You should go in from the west. And don't get caught, or try to play the hero, all right? Considering that we're up against anywhere inside the camp. But of course, an officer's tent, or maybe even Corex, would be ideal. We'll meet again here by sunrise. Huh?
And if they refuse?
Then it means war.
The gods have befouled the world with their ignorance long enough.
You know, that would mean the deaths of thousands of innocents.
No idolizer is ever innocent. Religions are ideologies, and an ideology is a decision. Subjects who don't rebel against their tyrants are at least as guilty as the tyrants themselves. But let's see what's going to happen. Who knows? Maybe that old fool Aranthial will listen to reason. For once in his life.
Yeah, let's see.
Look at that. The urchin child who just won't stop struggling. Afraid? You amuse us, you know. How you refuse to give up. How you keep on fighting, even though deep down you know your struggle is futile. But still, you have come a long way. You have ignited the sigil stone, and you have found the beacon. Because nothing is more entertaining than a harvest which fights back. It makes... So here's our other prophetess. Ask us whatever is on your mind, and we swear to answer truthfully. That's up to you to decide. Come on.
They want to destroy the beacon.
Yes, but they are naive. Evolution. That is what they call it. Just as the lizard became a dragon, and the bird became a man. No, and neither is the old Aranthial. Korak considers himself a sage. We have never appeared to him. You are the only figure of significance in this game, prophetess. Are you so blind? We are the dream of one long dead, which is about to become reality, and that will lead... We know what you want to hear now, that you are special, that you have always been, but it's just what you think it is. A weapon that allows you to fear, hate, joy. Yet, a true deity is more than a simple human able to throw fireballs. As your late Lightborn, there were so many before you, and so many have found the weapon. Yet still we exist, and the cleansing is... Lofty words. Hold on. Very well. Now Shu, continue your vain search, and forgive us for the pain. Now!
My lord, she is awake.
Splendid. May I introduce you? To your left, there's Samael, my bodyguard, master of Ostian's arena for decades. And to your right, there's Blade Master Almus Ordan, the most gifted sword fighter of Nerim's north and commander of my troops. Furthermore, there's an entire garrison of elite soldiers outside. So, can I trust you to not do anything stupid? I want to talk to you, face to face, as civilized people do. Fair point. But you forgot to mention, by the way, we have captured your friend as well. He's in a tent. Samael, take off the blindfold. Well then, I am Taranor of Korek's blood, former ruler of Kabiet, and now representative of the free peoples of Nerim, which you undoubtedly already knew. Who are you? That is who we are, yes. We don't follow a monarch anymore, and we do not pray to any idols. I see. And who sent you? And why? Actually, no, I won't. Contrary to what you... And even though I cannot guarantee you will survive this night, I promise that... just as I suspected. And how exactly? Of course. We have taken the liberty of stripping you of your belongings. If you'll excuse me for a moment, please. A silver plate. I see. They were sent to spy on us.
Then let's kill them.
No. She was honest, and I am a man of my word. And actually... Actually, you have done us a favor. We can use the plates to present Aranthiel with our offer, without putting ourselves in danger.
What? How? What are these plates?
Old artifacts of the Pyreans. Their magic works like a sort of ear conch. Sounds are transferred from one plate to the other. And I strongly suspect that at this very moment, Taelor, Aranthiel, and Ratzel's traitorous heirs are gathered around the counterpart, waiting for someone to activate this plate, aren't they? Samael, do you know how to use these plates? Excellent. Then activate it. I will talk to old Aranthiel. Let's hope that he will listen for once in his life. Otherwise, this will end in disaster. Taelor Aranthiel. I know that you are there and that you can hear me, so why don't we just stop playing games? As you wish, Grand Master. You can keep quiet, but you should be aware of who's going to pay for your arrogance.
Haven't you had enough war by now? After 2 decades?
2 decades of war that were necessary because your gods suppressed the people. Or would you deny even this?
Is that why you wanted to talk to Eric? To throw around accusations?
No, that's not what I wanted. We are talking because I want to give you a chance. We know that you are fighting the High Ones, and that you're trying to reconstruct the beacon in order to stop them.
Which makes perfect sense, since the cleansing means the end of all life. Don't you agree?
No, I don't. And if you even remotely understood who the High Ones actually are, and what they represent, you wouldn't either. They are evolution, the ascendance of humanity to a higher level.
What?
Let's just face the facts for a moment. There's no evidence that the cleansing, whatever shape it will take, will be violent. Yes, the Pyreans are gone, but how do we know they've not just simply gone to another place? That they've transformed? The High Ones are not our enemies, Aranthiel. They are the next step of evolution, the envoys of our purpose, that we might become more than the simple-minded creatures we've been during the past millennia. This is what the cleansing actually is. Don't you understand? It's the moment when humanity is relieved of its vices, united, reaching a higher level of existence.
That's absurd.
To you, it might sound that way, but I have seen it with my own eyes. Ever since the gods departed, the High Ones have sent me dreams in which I can see the future, and it's glorious. It's not our destiny to stay human, Aranthiel. With their help, we will be gods, true gods, not the idols you have worshipped. It's the truth, whether you accept it or not.
By the... people are dying, Koarek. There's war all over Veen. The dead are rising from their graves, and people are killing each other for no apparent reason. Whatever you have dreamed, does this look like some kind of ascension to you?
I know about the Red Madness, but has it ever occurred to you that it follows a pattern as well? That it only befalls certain people?
Whom?
People whose thinking is in shackles. People whose minds are not free, and who are superstitious and ignorant. Such as the people in your country, to whom you have denied the truth about their gods.
What? Are you saying that the Red Madness only affects religious people? People who still believe in the Lightborn?
Yes. Religiosity is a pattern of thought that favors irrationality over reason. Someone who thinks in these patterns is simply not ready for the advancement, and the Red Madness is simply a way to sieve them out. A natural selection, if you will. That's also why you are not affected by Taranthiel, because you know that what you and your order fought so hard to keep up over the years were lies.
This is nonsense. There have been cases of Red Madness in the Order too, and we have seen what the cleansing will bring us in the dreams and in their chronicles, and it has nothing to do with some kind of ascension. Just listen to yourself, Korik. You talk like a mad prophet. Is that what you want to be?
Ah, you react just as I expected. Very well then. Will you at least hear our offer?
Speak.
The cleansing has to happen, and we, the free peoples of Nerim, will make sure that it does. We will not allow your backward thinking to keep humanity from advancing, as it has done for centuries. Therefore, if you don't want a war, you will stop rebuilding the beacon, and you will tell your people the truth about their gods, so that then they, too, can ascend when the time has come. You've said it yourself, Aranthiel. This world has had enough war. Spare it yet another one.
I would if I could. But if these are your demands, then no.
Then we will have to force you. This means bloodshed, Aranthiel, and innocents will die. And all because...
This conversation is over.
Bloody fool. Alma, prepare the attack. He asked for it.
Yes, my lord. What will happen to the prisoners?
The spies. Right. We're at war now, and this means you're my enemies. But as I said, I am a man of my word, and so I'll leave your fate to chance. Samael, put her to sleep, and then put her and her friend on a raft. If they survive, so be it. If not, fair enough.
Well, well, look who's here. How are you doing, silly? Still on the search? Is that so? Honestly, I find that a little hard to believe. But I guess you know what you're doing, don't you? You always did. Come on, let's go inside. I prepared a little surprise. Or should I say a big one? I suppose that depends on how you look at it.
Daddy's all burnt.
Ta-da-da-da! Look who I dug out. It's Mother and little sister. Aren't they beautiful?
Aren't we beautiful? Aren't we beautiful?
But I suppose what we dead people do doesn't concern you now, does it, my child? Because you are important now. Ha! Can you believe it? She's important. She is chosen.
Chosen. Chosen.
But you know, I think you've forgotten something amidst all this ballyhoo of prophecies, cleansings, and beacons. That you are weak. You are pathetic. You are worthless. And you are weak. That's what you were back then. That's what you are now. And that's what you'll always be. Saving lives? You? Ridiculous. But then again, maybe we do you wrong. So why don't you just tell us? Why you? Why should you, of all people, be the solution to the problem? Why should you be able to prevent something that has happened to mankind for... That's right. You don't... See, you did it again. You made me unhappy. You made me curse. And cursing is a sin. Don't you understand? I'm only trying to help you to see. This is not you, don't you understand? You are not yourself. And deep down inside, you know it as much as I do.
You know it. You know it.
So, tell me, silly, why is it so hard for you to just let go? Your place is here, in the realm of the dead. So just let yourself fall. It only hurts in the beginning, you know? Then it's like falling asleep. Please, my child, we miss you so much. Little sister wants to play with you again.
Play with you. Play with
And the
you.
two of us, we could go hunting again, like back in the old days. Find ourselves a nice deer, and then have a good, juicy piece of meat for dinner. Do you even listen to me? Hey, you're not supposed to leave yet. You're already here. So why don't you just stay? Please, child, stay with us. 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 Stay with us.
Stay with me. Hey, can you hear me? Wake up. Bad dreams? That raft Korek put us on was about as seaworthy as a paper ship. But thank the sun, that fisherwoman over there took us in. She's headed for Duneville, and we should arrive soon. Couple of hours. That spell Korek's mute buddy put on you must have been quite a doozy. They felt a blow to the back of the head. Yeah. That guy should really go easier on the bottle if he had... As if the High Ones alone weren't threat enough. Now they have a self-proclaimed messiah to back... Well, as I heard it, he thinks the cleansing is evolution. We become higher... They're still superstitious, so the sickness weeds them out. Natural selection. And yeah, I'm afraid so. According to the fisherwoman, the first of Korak's battleships have already... Enderal isn't ready for this. Not at all. Most guards haven't... In other words, we're screwed. Well, I guess first of all, we should be grateful we made it out alive. Once we arrive in Duneville, we should get back to Ark as soon as possible. I'm sure Arenthiel and the others have already written us off as dead. I suggest you ask the fisherwoman how much farther it is to the village. suppose first of all I'll go get my pay. War is an entirely different story, and ending up beaten to a pulp with a damned warhammer certainly isn't on my priority list. Am I now? Remind me, if you will, since when am I responsible for saving this wretched land? On the other hand, oh my, what did I get myself into? I feel like a bloody marionette in a goddamn play. Ouch, bad one. You know, I mean, and even now, heck, I sound like the biggest cynic alive. You're really curious, aren't you? But yeah, well, I told a couple of moons, but she was gone. It's been troubling me for quite some time now.
All the way back.
Well, well, look who's... Is that so? Honestly, I find that a little hard to believe. But, I guess you know what you're doing, don't you? You always did. Come on, let's go inside. I prepared a little surprise. Or should I say a big one? I suppose that depends on how you look at it. Ta-da-da-da! Look who I dug out. It's Mother and little sister. Aren't they beautiful?
Aren't we beautiful? Aren't we beautiful?
But I suppose what we dead people do doesn't concern you now, does it, my child? Because you are important now. Ha! Can you believe it? She's important. She is chosen.
Chosen. Chosen.
But you know, I think you've
I like how there's a lot of meat in the middle, but we
amidst
all
all
just
this
have a heart.
ballyhoo of prophecies, cleansings, and beacons, that you are weak, you are pathetic, you are worthless, and you are weak. That's what you were back then. That's what you are now. And that's what you'll always be. Saving lives? You? Ridiculous! But then again, maybe we do you wrong. So why don't you just tell us? Why you? Why should you, of all people, be the solution to the problem? Why should you be able to prevent something that has happened to mankind for thousands of years? You! That's right. You don't know. see? Don't you understand? I'm only trying to help you to see. This is not you, don't you understand? You are not yourself. And deep down inside, you know it as much as I do.
You know it. You know it.
So, tell me, silly, why is it so hard for you to just let go? Your place is here, in the realm of the dead. So just let yourself fall. It only hurts in the beginning, you know? Then it's like falling asleep. Please, my child, we miss you so much. Little sister wants to play with you again.
Play with you. Play with
And
you.
two of us, we could go hunting again, like back in the old days. Find ourselves a nice deer, and then have a good, juicy piece of meat for dinner. But do you even listen to me? Hey, you're not supposed to leave yet. You're already here. So why don't you just stay? Please, child, stay with us. 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 Stay with us.
Stay with me. Hey, can you hear me? Wake up. Bad dreams? That raft Korak put us on was about as seaworthy as a couple of hours. That spell Korak's mute. Yeah, that guy should. As if the High Ones alone weren't threat enough. Now they have a self. Well, they're still superstitious. I'm afraid Enderal is. In other words, we're. Well, I guess once we arrive in Duneville, we should get back to Ark as soon as possible. I'm sure. Well, I suppose war is an entirely different story. And ending up beaten to a pulp with a damn. Maybe. The Order might be powerful here. On the other hand, if we don't manage to stop the cleansing from... Oh, my, what did I get myself into? I feel like a bloody marionette in a goddamn... Ouch. Bad one. Can't say it isn't kind of cute, though. You know, there's one thing I just couldn't get out. I mean, have we as a species really made this world a better place? What have we accomplished apart from bloodbaths and wars? And even now that we have a common enemy, we fail spectacularly. Heck, I sound like the biggest cynic alive. Let's stop here before it gets any worse. You're really curious, aren't you? But yes, there is something that... Well, I told you that we haven't talked much. A couple of moons before we met, I wanted to change that. But she was gone. Just... It's been troubling me for quite some time now. It's probably nothing, but still, I'm worried. Huh?
Ah, you're awake. How are you? No offense, but you look battered. Ah, you're awake. How don't thank me. Your friend. He told me about the Neramis. War. I have trouble believing it. Huh. From your lips? Those bloody Neramis. Nothing is sacred to them anymore, is it? Anyway, I guess it's best if you rest a little more. As I said, you look as... We'll do our best. I didn't think I'd ever say this, but right now I'd give a lot for the Ark Guard to be here instead of these Duneville watchdogs. At least they know how to wage a war. In any case, you should get back to the Sun Temple as soon as possible, and show those Neramis bastards whose country this is.
We will. And again, thanks for your help.
Don't mention it.
So, we should be back within range of the teleport runes. I'm gonna head straight back to the temple. See you there.
Safe travels.
Saira, I heard about what happened on Half Moon Island, but war, it just seems so unreal. How? Maybe you will. Tell me, Saira, how is it possible that our beliefs about what's best for mankind are so different? Why are we so eager to be at each other's throats? Suffering leads to more suffering. Yes, that makes sense. You know what I find so hard to understand? Why there are so few people who actually care. So few people who feel the need to change something like you and I do. There are moments I just feel so powerless. As if we all know that if we keep going like this, we're headed for a catastrophe. But instead of changing course, we just stand by. Do you know the feeling? Yes, I mean, is it so... You understand what I'm trying to say, don't you? You know that feeling too. I thought so. Whenever I think about it, I find it so hard. They could put all that money to such good use. Sometimes I imagine going down there. But even that probably wouldn't help. I guess we only care about the things that directly affect us. No, it's not. It's... And once again, you've had to listen. I guess I'm just not a person for pleasantries. Sorry. Saira, I have to ask you something. You said these compliments. Comments that you... I don't know how to put it. I see. Well, I don't think that would be a good idea, and I'd like for you to stop saying things like that. I'm the wrong person for what you're looking for. Now, excuse me. Quark's ships will reach shore soon, and we have to be prepared. Saira, I heard about what... But war... I know you mean that as a joke, but I'm... Tell me, Saira, how... Saira, I heard about... But war... Maybe you will, yes. Tell me, Saira, how is it possible that our beliefs about what's best for mankind are so different? Why are we so eager to be at each other's throats? I'm not sure. You know what I find so hard to understand? Why there are so few people who actually... So few people who feel the need to change something like you and I do. There are moments I just feel so powerless.
The fabled
As if we all
prodigy.
know that if we keep going
I
like
hope
this,
you can live up to what
we're
they
headed for a
say about you.
catastrophe.
I really do.
But instead of changing course, we... Do you know the feeling? Yes. You understand what I'm trying to say, don't you? You know that feeling too. I don't know. To me, that just... Whenever I think about it, I find it so hard. They could put all that money... Sometimes... But even that probably wouldn't help. I guess we only care about the things that directly affect us. Who fights against poverty if he's never suffered from it? I guess I'm just not a person for pleasantries. Sorry. Saira, I have to ask you something. You said these... No, but I'm not made for things like that. I've never felt the need for them, and honestly, I think it's dangerous. No. Never. No, it has nothing to do with that. It would just be a bad idea, that's all. Because... You know a lot about me, Saira. Let's leave it at that for now. We've still got a lot to do. The first Aquara exchange... Saira, I heard about what happened, but war... If they are, then maybe we were foolish to think that the Red... Tell me, Saira, how is it possible that our beliefs about what's best for mankind are so different? You know what I find so hard to understand? Why there are so few people who actually care. So few people who feel the need to change something like you and I do. There are moments I just feel so powerless.
And thy
As if we all know that if we
honor
keep going like this, we're headed for a catastrophe. But instead of... Do you know the feeling? I thought so. Whenever I think... They could put all that... Sometimes... But even that probably wouldn't help. I guess we only care about the things that directly affect us. Who fights against poverty if he's never suffered from it? No, it's not. I guess I'm just not a person for pleasantries. Sorry. Saira, I have to ask. Compliments. Comments that you... No, but I'm not made for things like that. No. Never. No, it has nothing to do with that. It would just be a bad... Because... You know a lot about... Let's leave it at that for now. We've still got a lot to do. The first Aquarex ships will reach shore soon, and we have to be prepared.
That's ridiculous.
Walk blessed.
Please try to negotiate.
You know his demands. There's no basis for negotiation.
Hope he knows what
He has not seen what we have seen. The writings, the memories of the prophetess. If he just realized...
Taranor Korek would rather throw away his comb that had been a mistake. Believe me, I know him.
I am sure the Grand Master has a solution ready. After all, he was the one who dismissed Korek's attempts to negotiate so swiftly.
First we wait for the group's return,
Pathlessness,
then we will
wherever
see.
you look. Where is
But
this
it's
supposed
been
to
a
be?
week.
My sirs?
Shit. What took you so long? And where is Constantine?
That's a long story.
And those were his final words?
80, 100 times.
I can't believe it.
Sky can
Simply
rain fire.
another victim of the High
Magisters
Ones.
never change.
If we do not activate the beacon soon, he won't be the last.
Oh, right. The beacon. If it's activated, we'll simply glow the red madness away, won't we? Or maybe we could, for once in all this, do something that
prophet,
actually
isn't
makes
it?
sense, and focus our resources on finding an alchemistical or thaumaturgical solution to this problem, rather than trusting in a pile of scrap metal.
Oh, by the prophet's ass, won't you just shut up for a minute? All day long you do nothing but babble, getting on our nerves, and nothing you ever say gets any closer to a fucking solution. So why don't you just shove off to one of the bathhouses? Go torture the washerwomen with your never-ending lamentations. That would be helpful for a change.
You will take that back.
Will I? Come here and make me. I'd be delighted.
Blasphemy!
Guard your
This
tongue,
is blasphemy!
wild mage, or...
Or what? Are you gonna kill me? That's what you do best, you and your fucking order.
Silence! You are angry, Lishari Pegast, and I understand why. But in the moment you let that anger destroy this alliance, Firespark's sacrifice will have been in vain. Is that what you want? Is that what you want?
No. No, it isn't.
Good. I am tired of this endless bickering. We have a responsibility, and we will fulfill it.
Well said, Aranthiel. And how exactly do you think we are going to do that? Without the sources, the beacon is as worthless as a heap of rusty iron.
The chroniclers are on it, and they will find the answer. Novice, tell Commander Aaron to join us. We need to plan the defense of the land. You, Prophetess, will speak to me as soon as you have recovered. Now, let us get to work.
Please, Tilor, Jorik is right. A war with Nerim? This is madness.
I know that it is going to be tough. We have no choice. The beacon is all that we have.
Yes, the beacon! The beacon! The beacon!
That's the problem.
We don't even know what this thing does, let alone if it will work. If you start a war only because of that damn machine, it means putting the lives of thousands at risk, only because of some vague idea. This is ludicrous, Tila. It's entirely irrational. The man I knew would never have acted like this.
Yes, because that man is dead. I've made decisions driven by fear and selfishness before, and they were always wrong. I will not let that happen again. Seriously, Natara, stop acting as if this were about reason. You're just afraid of making sacrifices for what you believe in. You always were.
Sacrifices? This is about your damn pride, Tilor. Nothing else.
The sun be praised you've made it. Constant, it's just not fair.
Well, that's just how he is. Always talking.
Someone is... I have to talk to you as soon as possible. It's about the seal in that letter we found on the mercenaries in Old Rashengrad. I believe I'm onto something. Their client is from Ark. Let's not talk here, though. I'll be in the first room upstairs, right at... And hurry. Yes. See you there.
A machine that can banish these high ones. The mysteries of this world are endless, aren't they? Let's hope he knows what he's doing.